Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Arsenal have beaten Aston Villa 4-2, and that is not the story. The real story is that Arsenal have beaten Aston Villa 3-2. Jorginho stealing it at the death. I absolutely cannot believe my eyes. I absolutely couldn't believe what I've seen. What a game of football. What a way to announce yourselves as back again. The rival fans out there, they were doing watch-alongs. I was watching their watch-alongs on YouTube. They had 8K, they had 80,000 people watching. And what a way to silence all the Muppets. What a way to announce ourselves as title challengers once again. Yes, it was an early kickoff. Yes, it is lunchtime sports, and it's a very, very difficult game when you're playing those early kickoffs after losing midweek to Manchester City. But that has been all forgotten now. We now begin our winning streak. And like I said, the title charge begins now. It doesn't end with Manchester City. It begins now. What a game of football. Mikel Arteta, absolute genius with the changes. I will talk about it because I'm not really happy with Benjamin White and how he played and how we left him on the pitch. But right now, it's all about celebrations. Who was your man of the match? Let's get into that right about now. Who was your man of the match? I'm going to give you 4 options, just like I always do in my match reactions. Number 1 is Martin Odegaard. What a miss, but what a game he's played. I think he's been one of those players that's consistently put in those very good performances. Didn't score, didn't even make an assist, but what a game. Again, he played very, very well for me. Jorginho, number 2. Jorginho, again, for me, one of those players that I think today have stepped up due to the experience and stepped up due to their pedigree. He's won it. He knows, and he knows it is not over until it is over. Number 3 is Alexander Zinchenko. We've got to talk about this guy. How many games now? He's only put a foot wrong in the Manchester City game. But apart from that game, the rest of the games, the rest of the season, he's been absolute class. So Alexander Zinchenko played very well today as well. I think those are the 3 candidates for man of the match. I don't think there is any other player. We could talk about Saka because Saka's goal is so important for us. And then the fact that he kept on playing football even when he's injured, right? Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's one of the reasons I could actually say he's also part of the man of the match award. But for me, if I'm going to vote man of the match, it's going to be Alexander Zinchenko. You actually guessed it right. Jorginho played very well. It's a very, very close call, but I'm going to go with Alexander Zinchenko. But in the comment section, let me know. How do you vote for your man of the match? Who is your man of the match and why? Right, so let's get into it. The first half was a little bit mixed with reactions, a lot of reactions. We didn't play very well in the first half, and I understood. I really did. The reason that's why we didn't play very well in the first half is clear. You've played 3 games. You've not actually picked up maximum points. You're on the low. You're on a very, very low point in the season. This is the lowest point that Arsenal have been on ever since losing 3 games in a row. Brighton, Southampton, and Crystal Palace last campaign. And I think Tottenham as well, right? When we were trying to get the top 4 and we didn't get it, that was our lowest point. But this season, that has been our lowest point. And like I said during the preview, you don't easily come back from that. You don't just go, oh, we are winning against Aston Villa away at the Villa Park. We will bounce back. No, it takes a lot. It takes a late-minute winner. It takes a lot of hanging on. It takes a world-class Ramsdale save in the second half when it is 2-2. It took a lot, and it always absolutely takes a lot. So in the first half, we played like a team that was trying to get it together, and I'm really happy with Mikel Arteta and the boys. Even when we considered the first goal, they didn't panic. They raised the level of the performance. They raised the level of the game, just like we did against Manchester City, and we found an equalizer. Beautiful goal by Bukayo Saka. Again, that young Englishman stepping up. That young Englishman always doing what he does best for Arsenal, stepping up and giving us a super performance, right? Then we consider the second goal because of Ben White. That is purely Ben White's making. I've not seen an atrocious player in a single 90 minutes than this guy. Now, and I think Ben White, there is no excuse for him. Each and every member of this team is on the low. Each and every single member of this team is trying to bounce back. You can't have such a bad game. You can't be so sluggish like that. You can't be, it's like he almost doesn't care. And I was absolutely fuming. That goal, it's a well-worked goal by Aston Villa in the first half. 2-1 Felipe Coutinho, what a finish. Ramsdale, no chance. I don't blame my defenders. I blame William Saliba for the first goal. Completely atrocious. Completely atrocious. But all that happens because, we are on the low. We are not yet back to winning ways. We are struggling. But what a way then to come back in the second half. Remember, the second half on Wednesday was the problem. Arsenal giving away the ball a lot of the time. Arsenal doing mistakes here and there. And Arsenal not taking their chances. This second half at the Villa Park has been absolutely special. Absolute sins. Even when, we didn't score in the fresh 90 and we scored in the 90 plus, that doesn't take anything away from the performance. It has been absolutely, so good. The Alexander Zinchenko goal, and I've loved the idea of the short corners. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the ideas of the short corners worked for us really, really well to an extent that we could have scored 3 goals from short set pieces, from short corners. It is a well-worked move still. Martin Odegaard knows where Alexander Zinchenko is. He knows where it's going to be. And Zinchenko, the experience, that is his 92nd game in the Premier League. You can see the pedigree. You can see how calm he is. You can see he puts his foot right through the ball. He doesn't panic. It doesn't go up. And it doesn't, he doesn't hit the ground. So it's clearly on target. And it's 2-2. And then the game started. The moment it was 2-2, our game started. Our football started. The emotions rose. The passion rose. Every single player on the pitch became different. Every single player, apart from Ben White, right? Apart from Benjamin White. In my player ratings, I could give him a 0. I don't care. I could give him a 0 in my player ratings, right? But the rest of the team stood up. They stepped up. They said, now it is time to go for it. Because it was now or never, right? You can't allow Manchester City to whistle through, the far distance. You can't allow them, especially when you're still playing Aston Villa and Leicester. You cannot do that, right? So we get a second goal and the game really starts. Arsenal creating a lot of chances. The Martin Odegaard chance, we all thought that is it. We all thought this is the moment where we're going to score because, Edin Ketia does very well, puts a lot of pressure on Ezra Konsa, lays it for Martin Odegaard, and in my opinion, I'm sorry, Odegaard. I'm very, very sorry. You should have taken a touch, right? You should have taken a touch. They're just like Felipe Coutinho. It's very, very similar. It's so similar to Coutinho's chance. The difference is Coutinho has played this game on a top level for so many years, and you can see how calm he is, and you can see the finish is just, it's just beautiful. Odegaard, I don't think he does so much wrong with that, apart from hitting that ball into the ground. Okay, I think, when you're there, your brain is into celebrations. Your brain is already, celebrating the goal, and he misses it. And when he misses that, in my opinion, I'm like, are we going to draw another game? Are we going to lose, and then draw another game? Right? Because I felt like that was our best chance of the second half. Edin Ketia still gets another chance. I think it's is it Martin Odegaard who plays him on, and then he gets the first touch very, very right, but then the finish is over the bar. But that did not matter. The 90 minutes was all about Arsenal, and of course Aaron Ramsdale who made a very, very spectacular save in the second half. That is what I always say. Your goalkeeper wins you games and brings you some points. That is a very, very strong save from the Leon Bailey save, Leon Bailey shot. And the moment he keeps us in the game, there is life. There is belief. There is an opportunity for us to go for it. Mikel Arteta does very well, takes off Ben White, who was absolutely shit in this game, and then brings on Fabio Vieira. What a substitution. And many of you might not actually go for Fabio Vieira. You might go for Gabriel Martinelli, but it was Fabio Vieira. When he came into that midfield, the creativity, something I've always talked about, actually changed. Clipping balls over that, over that Aston Villa defense that were very, very stubborn, trying to find a way. He tries to find a way. Odegaard is trying to find a way. Saka is trying to find a way. And Martinelli is trying to find a way. You have 4 technicians and tacticians on that pitch trying to find a way through the Aston Villa defense. And eventually, oh my God, that goal from Jorginho, go and watch it back, right? If you have seen moments that win the Premier League title, it's so bad that it doesn't take us 6-9 points, clear on the table, because that is the moment that wins you the title. If we ever win it, if we ever nick it, if we ever win the title of Manchester City, there are only 2 games that matter. Game number 1 is Arsenal Man United at the Emirates. Game number 2 is that goal from Jorginho. What a strike. What a strike. I mean, when we all thought he's not Partey, when we all thought, are we ever going to win a game with Jorginho on the pitch? He said, hell yeah. You're going to win a game of football with me on the pitch. And he hits that ball with absolute power, absolute precision, and absolute clarity. It clatters the. I think it clatters the. It clatters the crossbar, comes down, but Emi Martinez can't do anything about it, because when he hits it, Emi Martinez has to go at to full stretch, and when it comes back, it hits on Emi Martinez. It's an own goal, but it doesn't really feel like an own goal. Jorginho, what a ball! Oh my God, what a ball! And for me, from that moment, look, it was game over. It was absolutely game over. Then Arsenal tried to defend, trying to contain the game. Mikel Arteta brought on a few substitutions, Holding and Kvaratskhelia. It was absolutely over. And then, just to seal it off, just to get those 2 goals back from Manchester City, we've now started reclaiming whatever we've lost. We've started reclaiming, and it doesn't end with this. Gabriel Martinelli getting the goal number 4, just to make sure that everything is okay. And then remember that touch from Fabio Vieira. It should be in your head. Some respect. Put some respect on my guy Fabio Vieira, because I think there is a connection between Fabio Vieira and Gabriel Martinelli. And credit to Gabriel Martinelli, because when he came into that game, it absolutely changed. He didn't play on the left-hand side a lot, because that is where all teams actually stop him. But this time he plays down through the middle. He tries to play down through the middle. I think it was absolutely quality. Benching him is actually creating a lot of opportunities for Rice. So generally, that is a champion's performance. Yes, we are on top of the table for a while until Manchester City win. I know they will win against Nottingham Forest, but champion's performance. Pure champion's performance. There are only 2 things on the negative that I will talk about in this game. Number 1 is Benjamin White. Get him off. Get him off. Get him off. If you're rotating Martinelli, you rotate Ben White. It's as simple as that. If you're rotating Martinelli, you're rotating Ben White as well. He's atrocious. He's the worst player in this Arsenal team right now. And I don't want to call him out, because I love the guy. I really, really love the guy, and I backed him last campaign. But to be honest, right? He played at centre-back last campaign, did very well. Mikel Arteta's found a new position for him, and maybe he's struggling because of that. But let's play Tomiyasu. Let's play Tomiyasu for a few games, because when you saw Tomiyasu coming on, he was tacking into right the midfield. Alexander Zinchenko tacking into right into midfield. The overloads were absolutely superior. The superiorities we're creating in the midfield, in the middle of the park, were absolutely there now, right? Odegaard having, the freedom to roam around, because who are you marking? We have 5 midfielders and we have 3 players, up top. So for me, Benjamin White, worst player on the pitch. I don't think there is an Aston Villa player that has played as poor as Benjamin White. No Aston Villa player. And then Mikel Arteta and the substitutions. Bro, what are you on? What are you thinking? What are you doing? What is he doing? It can't be 80 minutes. It should be, the latest should be 70 minutes. The latest should be 70 minutes and we bring someone on. 70 fucking minutes. It can't be that long. It can't take that long. All right? And then players like Jack have already showed you they're not at it. Players like Ben White have already showed you they're not at it. Saka is injured. Try to make some changes as quickly as possible. Try to make some changes as early as you can. Right? Maybe we could have won this game a little bit better. But come on, you Arsenal. We are back to winning ways. And, of course, we are coming for you, Manchester City. Like I said, playing from second motivates you. It doesn't mean it's over. It actually motivates you to go, okay, now, do I lose second? No. Do I go for first? Yes. See you in the live reaction soon.